Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to graph using a calculator to find that local minimum and local maximum that we need in order to answer that first question. So the first thing you can do, turn on your calculator. We want to make sure that all our calculators are going to look the same, we're not going to have any issues. So go to your y equals and make sure there's nothing in any of the equations. You can press clear, you can scroll down just to make sure. You also want to make sure that none of your plots are highlighted. What that would look like would be that. In order to turn it off, just go up with your arrow, press enter, and that turns it off. Okay, so we're graphing this equation. That's what we want to type into our y equals. So y equals was at the top. The x is right next to your alpha button, parentheses, x minus 3, and then x plus 5. Feel free at any point to pause the video if you need to catch up. Okay, now we're going to press zoom. In order for all of our graphs to look the same, let's press zoom 6. So zoom was in the middle, and then 6. Okay. We know some key features already about this graph, given the equation. We know that one of the x-intercepts is 0, one of them is 3, and the other is -5. We also know, because the leading coefficient's positive, that it has to go up, and because it's an odd degree, the other one's going to go down. We also passed through every single x-intercept because none of them had an even multiplicity. The only thing we need in order for us to answer positive, negative, increasing, decreasing is that highest point and that lowest point. That highest point is called a local maximum. That lowest point is the local minimum or minima. So going back to our calculator, the issue with our graph versus our calculator is I can't see the highest point. In order to change that, we have to play with our window. So window, right now it's just going from -10 to 10, and then our y's are -10 to 10 as well. I need to make my y values larger in order to see that entire graph. So I'm going to scroll down. There's no magic to the actual answer, so I'm going to guess 30, -30, and 30. I would just start off with any other numbers that are bigger than 10 if you can't see that highest and lowest. Okay, so I still can't see the maximum, but now I can see the minimum. So because I can see the minimum, all I'm going to do is increase my y value so I can see more. So I'm going to go back to my window, and I'm going to make that y maximum larger. Since 30 didn't work, I'm going to try 50. Okay, and now I know I can see them. Now I actually have to find use my calculator to find that point. The steps are on your summary sheet. So if you want to take that out, at the very front on the bottom, so you can follow along and see where the buttons are. So if I want to find that maximum, that local maximum, I'm going to press second, trace. So again, that was second, trace. Because it was a maximum, I'm going to scroll down to maximum and press enter. And my calculator is going to ask me for a left bound. What that means is I'm going to find a point somewhere to the left of that maximum. So I'm going to use my arrows to move my cursor. Here's the maximum, so I want to go to the left. Press enter. Anywhere to the right, because now it's asking me for the right bound. Enter. Then it says, would you like me to guess? I press enter again, and it gives me that point. So I'm going to repeat that one more time. Second, trace. We're trying to find the maximum. It asks me for the left. So I scroll to the left anywhere. I can even go all the way to the left here. somewhere to the right and press enter, enter again. This one looks a little different, but if I round, it's still negative 336. Okay, now I'm going to repeat a similar process for minimum. So it's still second trace, but now instead of the maximum, we're going to do the minimum. It will still ask me for the left bound. So if I go to my minimum, go somewhere to the left and press enter, somewhere to the right, enter. Do you want me to guess? Press enter again. And it tells me my local minima. We're always going to round to the nearest 2 decimal places. So that is 1.67, negative 14.81. Okay. Now that we have that actual local maximum and local minima, we can actually answer the questions. As you work through your problems today with your team, make sure you're checking your answers on Haiku. You guys have a good weekend.